Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, March 9th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. We have a time for change call tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to cover why this planet is going through the ascension process, so to speak, what the reason for is. All of us, in a way, in our own ways, we have this internal struggle, and the only way that's going to change our outer world is to release the struggle that we have, each of us, within us. Drop any demand to change your outer world and use that same energy and attention to heal your reaction inside you. Drop any demand to change your outer world and use that same energy and attention to heal your reaction inside you. When our thoughts and feelings shift from pointing outwards to going within, people will feel that inward connection and start reflecting that back to you. When our thoughts and feelings shift from pointing outwards to going within, people will feel that inward connection and start reflecting that back to us. It's by far the greatest miracle to witness on the planet today. Seeing how, when we change our perception of reality changes. When we change our perception of reality, seeing how and when we change our perception of reality changes. When we see others brand new, they see how they're seeing them and begin to become that which you see. And when we are soft, kind, and super gentle with ourselves, everyone else falls into that same sweet, gentle inner vibe as well. This world is the most spectacular, perfect mirror. A lot of people I listen to that talk with me about through the years, they've mentioned that they feel tired. Maybe some of you have experienced that, where you just feel it's not so much, the physical tired, it's just a tiredness. I've had people say that they spiritually feel tired. And the soul, the God within us, is never, ever, ever, ever tired. When you want nothing, seek nothing, expect nothing, then the supreme state will come to you, uninvited and unexpected, Nisargadatta. An infinite source of energy is all around us right now. We may not be aware of it because we may be paying attention to our minds and all the other super important things that our minds are focusing on. Yet there is a source of divine, powerful, conscious, intelligent, electric energy here that they call our soul. And when you have full access to it, you can create anything you want in your life. Now, I think we all know that could be the bad stuff too, because we say we don't want something, we get it. So always to be mindful. When you have conversation, and a lot of us are so habituated to it, we say we don't want. I don't want that to happen, or I don't want this to happen. The universe will give that to you because you're asking for it, believe it or not. And this has been proven infinity amount of times throughout the ages on this planet. It's getting to the understanding that It's like when you say you don't want, shift the frequency of the words and write it down if you have to. Put it on your hand. Mark it somewhere. I don't care for that to happen. I don't care for that to happen. It makes it total. You feel the difference in the energy shift. First, we've got to understand that we must be willing to stop leaking our energy by following all the 60,000 plus thoughts passing through our head each day, and simply be present to this inexhaustible connection that's within your innermost being. It is ironic that one could so easily miss experiencing this great power inside, as this divine energy is closer to us than our next thought, breath, and heartbeat. Yet, if we try to find our soul using the mind, it simply will not work. We will overlook it because the mind is too small, logical, and narrow to truly comprehend and contain this vast, multidimensional spiritual energy. Your soul can only be found by surrendering the mind. It can only be found by surrendering the mind. When you open yourself to having a deeply intimate and personal connection to the greatest loving, healing, forgiving, and accepting energy you can imagine, then your soul connection comes rushing in. It's not that the soul could ever leave you. It is always here now, connected to the all the energy, intelligence, and consciousness throughout this universe and beyond. It is always plugged into an infinite source of love and creativity. Our souls live in a place of peace, abundance, and true happiness about everything. For this eternal energy is the very foundation of its core. Once we let go of the mind completely, we see our suffering goes away with it. And we feel this infinite connection to an energy that has no end to it. Your soul has no beginning and no end. And so it cannot enter a state where it could lack energy. And since it has an infinite supply of life energy, excuse me, some people, I think that some people kind of cogitate, I'll lose my life energy, right? You'll lose it. It'll be depleted. Our soul has an infinite supply of life energy, infinity and beyond, bubbling up from its core. So therefore, the soul can never be tired. The soul doesn't know what it feels like to be lacking anything, as it's always connecting to a direct spiritual line of inexhaustible divine energy. Any form of tiredness or suffering that we experience in this life is because we are living in the mind. We have believed in certain concepts about who we are not, and have forgotten that we are truly this eternal soul. Now, if we look inside our minds, we'll see that we have been fed misguided information along the path and educated by society to believe that we are this body and that one day we will die. We have not been taught by the world to believe we are eternal beings. If everyone truly believed this, truly believed it, there would never be another argument, struggle, or war on this planet. Never, ever, ever, ever again. We would know only peace of being and infinite energy. Now, when you spend enough time alone in silence and look deep enough inside yourself, you will one day realize that you truly are not this body nor this mind. It won't come from the intellect. It will come from a deeper place inside. You'll watch your thoughts passing through the brain and notice your feelings arising in the body. Yet, you will know that who you are is the eternal experiencer who is always in this moment having some type of life experience. Once we stop becoming so identified with the mind and body, we create space to experience ourselves as the soul, which is connecting to an infinite source of energy. The problem is that the mind tends to strongly believe in certain thoughts, and then the body feels those thoughts to be reality. The mind watches a movie of a violent scene, and the body starts to tense up, contract its muscles, and prepare for the perceived battle. The body is always reacting to the mind with specific sensations, gestures, and emotions. The mind has simply become too involved with being identified as the body. So we believe that we are those sensations and nothing more, even though we know deep down that every experience in life will soon pass. The mind gets identified with every thought and experience until it is truly liberated. This is what self-realization is all about. When we realize the truth, all of us, when we realize the truth of who we are, this eternal being who is never attached, never over-identified, never suffers, and can never die, then we are free. From this place, it's easy to see how ridiculous it is to get over-identified with anything of this world, and we stop the mind's identification habit in its tracks. From this place, it's easy to see how ridiculous it is to get over-identified with anything of this world, and we stop the mind's identification habit in its tracks. It is the most beautiful moment in one's life when there is neither confusion nor certainty. One simply is a mirror reflecting that which is with no direction to go anywhere, with no idea of doing something, with no future, just utterly in the moment, tremendously in the moment, Osho. To truly transcend the mind, a soft, loving, vigilant awareness is the key. When we can consistently return to the realization that we are the source of pure awareness, that which is untouched and untainted by everything, then our souls start flooding their eternal source of amazing energy through our bodies. When the mind and its belief system are no longer the priority, they stop obscuring the view of the soul who is standing on the peak of the mountain. And we discover that we always were this eternal being. This knowing is what instigates a deep, spiritually liberating experience inside. What's interesting about the mind is that it can be quite stubborn and will attempt to pull you back into its temporal, time-bound, challenged reality again and again and again. Whenever you try to transcend the mind with using the mind will resist. This resistance is to be understood and welcomed, as it will force you to become stronger and force you to go deeper in your realization of your real soul nature. With practice, relaxing into it, there will come a day when the mind will surrender and give up its relentless, tiresome attempt of being right. We will all find that one early afternoon, just out of the clear blue, we will truly be free. The mind will have accepted that we truly are, all of us, infinite spiritual beings, having an occasional human experience instead of a limited time-bound being having an occasional spiritual experience. The mind will have accepted that we truly are infinite spiritual beings, having an occasional human experience instead of a limited time-bound being having an occasional spiritual experience. The long, gruesome internal struggle with the mind is essential if we deem our freedom from its worthy and valuable. The caterpillar who is about to leave the cocoon must wiggle, squirm, and work hard before its wings are strong enough to support its ability to fly. The newly planted banyan tree seed must be buried deep in the dark, cold dirt, suppressed by the gravity of the heavy, damp earth, in order for it to crack its shell and sprout up to reach the first light of the sun. The birth of every human baby undergoes a tremendous amount of exertion, which forces it to boost its antibodies and immune system so that it can handle the toxic elements of this world and survive. You'll find that within every birth and life, there is some form of struggle. And it is within this struggle that a deeper connection to spirit is created, which is exactly what every being needs to survive. My invitation for all of us this week is to notice where we are struggling the most in our lives and welcome that experience fully. Become the caterpillar growing your wings. Don't try to avoid, control, or resist what you're going through, for there is a deeper lesson inside of you. There's a deeper lesson inside of you, inside of it for you. No matter whether it's the biggest mental, emotional, or physical challenge you've ever had, say these words: thank you. Thank you. Thank you to it, and dive into the experience through to the other side. If it gets too intense, just step back from it a bit, take a full body breath, and then notice what emotions the mind has become identified with. You will soon improve your ability to face anything hiding inside you, no matter how dark or depressing it may be. A good question for all of us to ask ourselves is, what part of me wishes this situation was different than what it is? What part of me is not embracing this experience, seeing it as a sacred lesson of empowerment on my soul's infinite journey? Now, if you stay curious long enough, because we are all curious beings, we will soon see that our suffering in this life is not created from the emotional sensations in the body, yet is in our resistance to the actual experience. The sensation in itself can transform itself and become quite exhilarating and even fascinating. If you can get the mind and its judgments out of the way, my greatest advice for you is to be patient and gentle with yourself throughout your entire process. No matter how many times you forget, never give up on this path of finding your soul and transcending the mind. In time, you will see that every effort you made to get beyond this identity was definitely worth the journey. In time, you will see that every effort you made to get beyond this identity was definitely worth the journey. So, enjoy the journey. And the first thing we want to do is go to a place where we're not going to be interrupted and relax our bodies. Remember, the body, every thought that we have, and you guys maybe you experience, maybe you're not aware of it, but it is true when you're watching something, right? You experience it. Your body flexes and stretches and tenses, and it reacts. Highly reactive, the body is. Highly reactive. So to relax it, and I mean naturally, not outside drugs and alcohol or anything, but to relax it naturally, the breath. The sacredness of our breath is the key to relaxing these bodies that we're in. And we focus easy in through the nose on the breath, easy out through the mouth on the breath. Only the breath. Listen to your breath. Listen to it. That's all you do. You don't analyze it. You don't dissect it. You don't evaluate it. You just listen to your breath and just let it flow. This moves us into the now. And the now is our natural state of being. Do you honestly believe with yourself that the past or the future is our natural state of being? It isn't. The now is. And when you do this, the body then lets go. This is where you can say, you can review anything, right? In the moment. Fear, worry, stress, anxiety, whatever it may be, that's dogging you at the time. And embrace it. And you'll watch what happens. It will vanish. Now, when you understand, right, the mind, which is an illusion, which creates the ego, which is also an illusion, to assist it. See how that works? Now, what do you think our thoughts are? Well, they're illusions. So how do we turn a thought into reality? We embrace the thought. Right? We're energy. So we move energy into form. Everything's energy. We move energy into form. We create it in reality, and we experience it. Without us charging that thought, it's nothing. It's just a thought. And when we are cognizant of that, when we understand that clearly, a whole lot of things are going to change. You'll say to yourself, this is just a thought. That's all it is. I don't know if I'm going to give it some power. I don't know if I care to bring it into reality, move energy into form, create it into reality, and experience it. I'm not. I just don't. I don't think so. And it just moves on by. That's because you're projecting these thoughts, and most of them are created through the ego mind. So the body responds, and it relaxes, because you have left the mind alone, stilled the mind, the ego, and the subconscious mind. You've left them alone. You're not interacting with them. You're only focused on the moment. They have no place. Say, why do you think they'll do anything with any of us to keep us either in the future or in the past? Not the now. Can't go in the now. I can't let them go in the now. They go in the now, they're not going to need me. I won't exist. Now, I'm not saying that it is, that it's real a cinch for many of us to even spend a minute in the now. But as we practice it, and as we understand the vibrational frequency of it, we'll embrace it. And this is how we master these illusions. It's how we master the ego mind and the subconscious mind. And the body responds. Because when you're not thinking about all this stuff and worrying and all these things going on, which stress the body, you leave it. You disconnect from it. And that only happens in the now. Relaxed body, relaxed mind, relaxed ego, relaxed subconscious mind. They're all laying on the beach, right? You can picture that. All of them lying on the beach, and you're at afar, right? You're not with them, and you have no concern or care of them. And you're only in the now. No matter what happens, no matter what they try to do to trick you, you're only in the now. The now is it. And your body gets lighter, more relaxed. Stress begins to drain off. You see how you're literally putting the pieces together for yourself to understand. Now, it's important for all of us to be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with ourselves at all times. Not only that, but to be in the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And only focus on the breath, to be in the now. That combination. Because each of us generate 60,000 plus thoughts a day. I'm not saying that we're all cognizant or aware of those thoughts, but we do. There are thoughts that we're generating. Now, on top of it, we have tens of millions of thoughts flying by us like clouds in the sky. Those are not our thoughts. Those are programs. And we are susceptible to grabbing on to one and flying off. And we've all been there. You're focused on something, and you're intent and focused on something, and then you find yourself floating away. And you got to bring yourself back around. That's the ego mind trying to keep you out of the now. And by getting angry with yourself, frustrated with yourself, that's why being gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself is crucial. In fact, it's crucial throughout this life that we're in. Completely. So every time that happens, there's a fail-safe. The fail-safe is, this is not a big deal. So I floated off into other people's thoughts, right? I'll focus on my breath, and I'll be in the now 3,000% of the time, because you'll be in the now every single time you focus on your breath, because the breath is the now. Are you worried about tomorrow? If you're focused on your breath, you're in the now? No, it doesn't exist. Are you worried about yesterday? If you're focused on your breath, no, it doesn't exist. You're only in the now. Are you worried about a year from now? Are you worried about a month from now? Are you stressing about something? You wouldn't be if you're in the now. None of it would be happening. None of it would exist. Only in the now are we at peace. Now picture in front of you 3 golden circles. 3 of them. Now when you look at them, you're saying, oh, they all look kind of like the same. You see the canopy of trees that have formed like a cave or a tunnel, a roof, and they're golden, shimmering, the leaves, the branches, and everything. Then you look at the path itself, and it is a vibrantly rich, emerald green, flaming grass. And they all pretty much are the same. But you do notice that the one on the left, the past, is very much worn. The same with the one on the right, the future, is very much worn. Now, the one you're standing in front of is the now, and it looks brand new. So the ego mind does a good job with us. It keeps us out of the now. That's why those 2 pasts are so worn, and the now isn't. Now, we all reminisce. We all have memories, and anything triggers it. It could be a moment. It could be an interaction with somebody. It could be you're just by yourself driving or sitting, and it comes over you. So we all have our own personal libraries. And we go to them, they're in the past. So we'll go into them, open the door, turn on the lights, go to the shelves, get the movies, the books, and the pictures. And then we'll go and we'll sit in the easy chair and we'll watch the movies and we'll reminisce. This was really a good time in my life. I really enjoyed this. I would like to do it again. Or the times we visit places and things that we've done in the past where we know we've learned not to do it again. But most of us, we do that, and then we'll put everything away, turn off the light, shut the door, and move forward in life. And then periodically visit. But some of us will stay there so long. And I do not believe that it's conscious. I believe it's unconscious. We stay there so long that we end up bringing that past into a future that doesn't exist. We create that future from that past, and we relive that past in that future. That's why a lot of people will say no matter what they do, they always seem to end up here. We all travel into the future. Sometimes some of us do it several times a day. Wondering what will it be like when I have this or I have that, when I get this or I get that? How about when is it going to be when I get rid of this crummy boss and I get a good job? Or when am I going to get a different place to live? Or when am I going to be healthy enough to enjoy my life? And when am I going to meet my lifelong romantic partner? And it's endless because we have all these questions and we're seeking the answers outside of ourselves. That's where we're seeking the answers. When all of them are inside of us. Obviously, when we get external authority giving us information, we look to embrace it, embrace the information, and take it in and believe it. But when it doesn't happen, what are we doing? We're suffering because we're disappointed. We had attachments and expectations to it. Now, there's so many forms of love. You can love something, but not be attached to it. So if it disappears from your life, you're not in suffering. You're not affected by it. It's only when we attach ourselves to something that we suffer. And it's a fine line to practice. It's almost an art. Now, if you were to look inside the body that you're in, right? Because we know we're not the body, we are not the personality, the character, the name, the clothes, our status in the material physical world. We are the God. Period. Pure, deep, eternal love, pure consciousness. So when you look inside the body, you're going to see 7 lights, all different color. Each one's a different color, 7 lights. And they go from the tailbone to the top of the head. Now, on this planet, they call them chakras, which the definition of chakra is wheels, so these are wheels of light. And they're spirit etheric energy. We, the gods that we are spirit etheric energy. And we flow through these wheels of light, these chakras. And they're connected to every organ, every cell, every emotion, everything, intimately. So we're on this inner journey, the civilization of planet Earth. And we've chosen to take this inner journey and to stay there. We are not interested anymore in the journey outside of ourselves. All of our attention is to journey within ourselves. And we discover that we, the gods that we are in these bodies, are the power of healing these bodies. So eventually, we will be able to heal these bodies in a blink of the eye. No questions asked. Automatic. We also know that we are souls in a body, inhabiting a body, powering the body up so that it can sustain us and so we can experience physical life. So we're heaven on earth, literally, not figuratively. Heaven isn't a place. That's a matrix trick. Heaven is you, the God that you are. And the body is earth. Heaven on earth. And every step we take, we're consciously aware. What are we consciously aware of? That we know that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And every step we take, we're creating paradise, literally. And on top of it, we're shining our light. Our love. That's what we're made of. Our God force love light energy. All over this planet, 360 degrees. On it, in it, above it, below it. Saturating, permeating, and flooding. No escape. I mean, after all, there's 8 billion of us. Some asleep, some awake. In these bodies. Humanoid bodies. And we're shining our light 24/7, infinity and beyond. All over the planet and beyond. Now that doesn't include the trees and all of the other physical forms that gods are inhabiting. we're truly transcending this planet into a God planet paradise. Not figuratively, literally. And it's going on right now. Now, some of us just may, it's a possibility that when we decide to leave these bodies and we go out into the sacredness of space, and here comes a light, boom, right there, beckoning you to go into the light, right? That's a matrix trick. You are the light. You, the God that was in that body, that you are now in the sacredness of space, is the light. The love creates the light. You're the love creating the light. You do not need a light to show up and ask you to enter it. Now, if you were to take a starship off this planet, fly out far enough so that the planet looked like a basketball, and you would see that it glowed. And you would notice all the lights around it in this universe would pale in comparison. They would look like a candle lit in a dark room, very dim, dim, dim. Now, see, the separation illusion has really gotten a lot of us confused, because we look at Tommy down the street, and Tommy's separate from us, right? You look at your friends and neighbors, relatives, and their bodies are separate. They're not with you. But that's the illusion, because we're all one. It doesn't matter if parts of us are 1,000 billion light years away. We're all connected. We're never not. And all of us will learn this. And we will be able to communicate and travel on the blink. Just the blink of an eye. No starships. No technologies. These are just phases. They're training wheels. Now, we know that the parts of us that are asleep, the gods that we are, we love them deeply, dearly, just as much as we love the parts of ourselves, the gods that we are, that are awake to a certain extent, consciously aware. And this is all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. This is like, a googolplex. To get a perspective, a googolplex fills this universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. These are trillions of googolplexes from trillions of universes. And all one. All one. This is the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetype. Ascended masters. Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Moria, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All the off-worlders, galactics, and celestials. Now, the light energy beings, with the eyes that we have with these bodies, we don't see these. They're in different light spectrums. They come in shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations. Red, infrared, violet, ultraviolet, blue, ultra blue, green, ultra green. We just don't see them. But we do interact with a small group, comparatively speaking, and we're also, these bodies that we're in are highly dependent on a part of this group. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, the magics, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, and the minotaur. And there are others. Now ask your body, can you survive without water? Can you survive without air, fire, earth, ether, wood? And it's a big no. We would be forced to leave these bodies. Okay? Yes, we power them. but we do not provide them water or air. That's part of the other parts of us, so to speak, the other parts, the other gods. And this planet, where she has a god within it. So we're very, very intimately dependent on these elementals, these magics. Now, the Ascended Masters, they have ascended into physical form. They have mastered physical form. They have ascended out of physical form. They hold pure consciousness, God form. We have ascended into physical form. We are in the process of mastering physical form. We are creating our experiences to perfect our creations. The archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. This is a civilization that vibrates at a different frequency than we do. Now, the gods within those physical forms and the gods within the physical forms we're in, one. But we don't see them like we see each other due to their vibrational frequency. You don't usually walk down the street and the angel waves at you and says, "Hi, how you doing?" We meet them, we interact with them. It's just it's kind of like out of the clear blue. Of course, no expectations or attachments. And we know kind of when we're in the interaction that something is different than whatever the norm is. And so usually after, in many cases, we will say, that was an angel. That just wasn't a regular conversation. And you'll feel bliss. They have they've come to assist us in so many ways for tens of thousands of lifetimes. You need help. One appears, helps you. It's gone, right? You happen to be lonely, and all of a sudden someone comes in, and you don't feel lonely anymore. You're sad or depressed about something. Something happens, someone comes in, and you're not sad and depressed anymore. They've been assisting us for a very long time. And, believe it or not, we've been assisting them for a very long time. Now, they have a message, and the message has been sent, delivered in many ways through many aeons. And the message is, isn't it absolutely splendid, magnificent, magna glorious to be alive in these bodies? Because, guys, we don't, and I don't think many think of this, but you'll feel about it. We're balls of light, pure, omnipotently powerful energy, pure love. And we enter these physical forms, and then we experience love, happiness, joy, bliss, fun, laughter, sadness, crying, eating, sleeping, taking a hot shower, all of these sensations, seeing through these eyes, all the spectacularness of this planet and the physicality of existence. But see, we come in and we have amnesia. So we don't look at the body that way. We look at the body that we're the body. That's what we believe, that we're the body. But actually, we are not the body. We are the God within it. Because I'll tell you this, and every one of you have experienced it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. When we leave the body, we then appreciate the body. Isn't that amazing? When we leave it is when we appreciate it, because we start understanding. You know, I spent my whole existence in that body stressing, worrying, and fearing, when I could have been enjoying the body and the life that I was gifted on that planet. There's no remorse. It's just that, wow, look at all the things I could have experienced. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time, tens of thousands, tens of millions, because of their vibrational frequency. They can hold a large number in a small area. And you can ask them. They'll be there in seconds, like poof. And you'll feel bliss. You'll be in bliss. So the off-worlders, galactics, the celestials, over 1,000 species, civilizations, travel through this solar system every day. Trillions of verses every single day. Now, we're familiar with a small group. The Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the feline, the Zeta Reticuli, the Anunnaki, the Nords, the Greys, the Draco, the Reptilian, the Golden Pyramid, the Avian. This particular group has been assisting us in our evolution. Enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. And we're all one. I say we're gathered, and we're always gathered. Hundreds of millions of us, gigaplexes. We have hundreds of millions right now focused specifically on this planet. 24/7, infinity and beyond. Imagine that. Through the heart-mind. Some physical form, some spiritual. And for 4 years, over 4 years, we congregate here. In other words, we focus our energies here with this planet every day. Over 1,800 of these meditations every day without one day missed. Every single day. Why do we do it? Because we're love. We do it because we're love. And believe it or not, we love everything and anything because that's what we're made of. The only reason people are upset, stressed out, irritated, irritable, is just love under pressure. Now, all of us are in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one. And we're all God. And we're all love. And our God Force Love Light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond and forever. And it continues to grow. It continues to expand, and it continues to intensify. We immediately form a white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This is us. It's the gods that we are that form this white fire ring of light, circle of light around the planet. This is pure love. It is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And it's flooding this planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it. Saturating, permeating all life, the highest supreme value in the universes. And this isn't intermittent. It is 24/7, infinity and beyond. You can't escape it. It's everywhere, continual. Feel that, see that in your heart, mind's motion picture. Magnificent. Now we begin to ascend above the planet. As we do, we come into full contact with this massive ocean of glitter. Now this isn't like an ocean of glitter that you would see on this planet or depict. It's way beyond that. And there's only so many ways we can describe it. And in this particular way, as we say, it is a magnificent grand finale fireworks display of which nothing is compared to on this planet. And a grand finale laser light show display and a ballroom globe. We've seen those. The little tiny mirrors reflect light, colored light, white light, and it just sprays it everywhere. Except this one's a trillion times larger and a trillion times more intense. Now, if you were to combine all of those in one massive crescendo, you would get a glimpse of the ocean of glitter. And we're all curious, so obviously we go to look for the reflective points of this grand finale, this crescendo display. And we notice these little microscopic, perfectly etched mirrors. So we enter them. And then we discover that every one of us all the physical forms that we're inhabiting, experiencing physicality, physical form, we're teaching each other constantly. Learning, teaching, learning, nonstop. It's just that a lot of us are kind of in that daze, that fog, where we're focused on external reality and physicality. We are not going within, so we don't look at every form. We were taught as a species that the tree is life, amongst other things. No, it's the God that enters the tree that gives the tree that energy so that the tree can sustain the God, so that the God can experience the physical form of the tree. It's the physical form that we choose to inhabit because we want to experience that physical form. That's simple. You want to know what it feels like to be a dog? Then incarnate into a dog. What about a bear, a horse, a cow, a moose, a bird? It's endless. And all of us in these physical forms experiencing them, that's why they're provided to us. And experiencing them and all teaching each other in different ways. You watch a tree, how it bends, how the wind hits it, how the rain hits it, right? How it's able to withstand all of that. And you'll know the God is gone when the tree falls. Other times the tree will stay. The God will leave. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is the column of light that we created, the gods that we are within these bodies, to remind us all that we are the power of healing. Then we're met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods that we are within these bodies, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We're then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, 24/7, infinity and beyond, we are protected by a white fire armor. This armor emanates from the God within each and every one of us. It is pure, deep, eternal love. It is the highest of the highest high frequencies. Cannot be violated, penetrated. It cannot be seduced, weakened, ever. The lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, the demonic presences, cannot come close to us at this frequency. They'll vaporize. So they stay away. So we're protected through infinity and beyond. Yet, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously, through hatred, greed, anger, fear, worry, stress, hurriedness, revenge, you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor. Enough so to allow old Lord Dark Matter, Survival Matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, you see, then we have the opportunity for demon possession, attachment, all sorts of lower dark matter, survival matter frequency happenings. You decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. First part of this column we created is the purple transmuting flame. We created it to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more. We are then met with the other half of this column of light, the violet ray. We created this part of the column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that all of us gods in these bodies created to remind us all that we are the sun, the sunlight, rain, the rainbows. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We are the trees and the forest and the animals and the soils, the mountains. We are everything. Everything is us. So the next time you view any of these, a sunset, a sunrise, a starry-lit night sky, a rainbow, an ocean front, a mountain view, it is you. It always has been. It is you, the God in that body. We were taught a separation, right? So we look at those things and we say, isn't that beautiful? As if we're separate from them. And in actuality, that is the God that I am. That is the God that I am. And it shifts your energy phenomenally. And this is always the heart-mind. The ego mind is not at work here, just the heart-mind. We continue to ascend above the planet. Some of us step outside of our physical form and hover effortlessly above them if we're carrying physical form. We do this because it's fun and we can. We come into full contact with the crystalline light tower. It's massive. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. We created it, the gods that we are. In the center of the column is an oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is a golden white ball of light. And imagine, this is massive. The golden white ball of light is surrounded by multicolored rings of light, which seem to never end. They go to infinity and beyond. And these have created this massive, super bright white, crystalline, sparkling, reflective white cloud. And it's immediately absorbed in through our heart minds. And it feels like a warm embrace that never ends. Now the golden white ball of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes well-being, gratitude, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness. bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence. Tremendous, spectacular prosperity. Phenomenal, spectacular, magna, glorious abundance. And we come to discover that all of that is a reflection of the gods that we are within these bodies. Now, at the top, we designed a crystalline tower so the golden ocean can come cascading down 24/7, infinity and beyond. What is the golden ocean? It is the deepest of purest love, the highest frequency. And it's saturating, permeating, and flooding this planet and all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, infinity and beyond. We are drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We created this sphere over 4 years ago. Holds over 1,800 of our meditations in perpetual motion. We are focused. We, I mean all of us, everywhere, as one. Now, hundreds of millions of us, our attentions on and off world are exclusively this planet. Not just the solar system, but just this planet. These meditations are ongoing. They cannot fade, dissipate, or disintegrate. They intensify, grow, and expand. And we do these every day for over 4 years, 7 days a week. Can you feel the power and the deep eternal love, gratitude, and peace, and the massive amount of energy that has been literally released upon this planet in these meditations? It's massive. Now you can see why everything is changing and shifting. Now you can see why that all of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies are dissipating, being exposed, disintegrating. There is no power higher than love. There never will be. It is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest. Cannot be matched. And this is what we're flooding this planet with. The whole life, the highest supreme value in the universe is with it. Now you can tap into it. You can tap into all of it. You can see it through your heart, mind's motion picture. Anytime you choose, anytime, by being still. Whoever you've decided you are is still the tiniest fraction of who you really are. You are not defined by the ideas you have about yourself, nor your desires, nor the shape of your body, and not the positive or negative attitude of your mind. We are all beyond all of this. We are indefinable. We are greater than our minds can fathom. We are a spiritual energy which is unbounded and infinite. This is the true we that will never die. So for 5 minutes, sometime today, sit with the question, who am I? Explore it with your heart, not with your head. Be aware of the mind whenever it creates another idea of who you will be or who you were, and instead dive into the very essence of your being. Explore what is here now at the very core of you in this moment. I'll join in the meditation, return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Be still. For today, sometime today, get out a pen and paper and for 20 minutes, write down everything that you appreciate about yourself. Small or big does not matter. Just keep writing these positive statements down. Then choose the top 3 most emotionally moving appreciations on your list. Sit down and feel these ideas inside your body. Notice where you keep them inside. Post your list on a wall where you can read it and add to it any time in the future. Whatever you discover, revisit it again and again and again throughout the day. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We'll return here tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Time for Change call, and tomorrow, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Global Guided Meditation call.